Attention, duelists! My hair is welcoming you to The Hill is Always Greener, a show where four friends have excessively drawn-out card games, unnecessarily elaborate boards, featuring Sonic the Hedgehog to distract themselves from the inevitable passage of time and their own rapidly waning ability to achieve their dreams and find the strength in their dreams and to dream like dreamers in the dreamscape all dreamy like dreams.
I understand.
No, don't. I'm Faulerro, the precious stoner of the podcast.
I'm RockTheJake, the forced jewel of the podcast.
I'm CyberLink, and have you ever had a dream that you had that you had to you could do so you could do you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
I'm GameBuddy, and I'm showing off my hammer jump. Hey, stop taking pictures!
Just takes us so long. So anyway, yes, we are all gathered here today for a party game.
Yay! Oh, wait.
Like the ones involving other video game franchises.
I don't know about you guys, but this one put me to sleep.
Ooh!
Well, this one has cards instead of dice, hedgehogs instead of plumbers, precious stones instead of stars, and not fun instead of fun. That's right, we're finally covering the one Dreamcast Sonic game people don't tend to think about or play or want a re-release of. Funny how that works out. Chick, it's Sonic Shuffle! Say Palveray.
Oh, wait, we're not talking about Crash Bash today? Oh, crap.
I'm afraid not, because no, every day we're shuffling with Sonic Shuffle.
That's right, folks. We are finally talking about Midio Party.
Oh, boy.
Just getting it... We got to get it out of the way. Do not, for all you Sonic Shuffle diehards out there, I know you exist, because there's always one of them. Please do not expect a comprehensive review from us, because
Nope.
only one of us actually played it all the way through, because, sorry, we don't want to spoil it already, but it's hard to get through, I will say. And we didn't have a lot of time, and we didn't want to.
And a single board can take over 2 hours.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And for me, it did. So, that's... But don't worry, one of us has. And to be fair, we've experienced the whole game, we've played a bit together, we've taken about as much of it as any other person has. Actually, you know what? We've taken more than any other person has, because I don't think many people have played it all the way through like this, or at least not normal Sonic fans. Oh, normal and Sonic fans. I just can't believe I said those things together. Anyway.
Oxymoronic.
Yeah, but that's... nonetheless, we are going to do our best to cover Sonic Shuffle, because it's kind of been a bit of a blind spot for us. I don't know how many of us have actually played this prior to us doing this episode, because not me, I didn't have it. That was not one of the games I was going out of my way to have on my Dreamcast, and if I wanted to have one on actual hardware now, not to give away the fact that maybe I didn't play this through legal means, I would have to pay upwards of £100, and after actually playing a little bit through those extra legal means, I don't think that would have been worth it. But hey, at least one of us has an actual physical, real copy of this for the Dreamcast, right?
I mean, I played it on my physical Dreamcast.
Me too.
Close enough.
With a version of the game that's on a physical object.
Me too.
I rented the game once as a teenager from Blockbuster.
Whoa, Jake is ahead of all of us.
I did own a real deal physical copy of this game with my original Dreamcast. So yes, I did own it at one point. I
had played it maybe once or twice before this, but I had never actually played a single game to completion.
Me neither. I never beat the story mode as a young child. For reasons that I'm sure will come up naturally in the discussion of this game.
Yeah.
Now, we can't just front load this with just negativity, but we just need to...
Why not?
No, but we will backload it too.
That's
and probably
true.
midload it.
But I will say, we just need to say this, because ordinarily, when we do like our quote-unquote reviews of games, when we cover them on the podcast, we tend to be like, okay, we at least need to finish it. This one was asking a bit too much of us, but we got as much of the experience as we possibly could, well, not possibly could, as we were willing to do. And frankly, I think that's enough. So,
like, let's be clear. This game has a lot of interesting ideas and stuff that, hey, if with a little more refinement, I think could actually be like really, compelling in a game like this. But the execution is so deeply flawed. And like, I do want to make sure that I call out the things I like as we go. But taken as a whole, just got to be real. This is not a great experience.
This game has a lot of dreams that does not live up to.
I also want to put it out there that, I'm the one who actually finished a story playthrough of this game before we recorded this. I also don't really like this style of party game unless you're playing with real people, and I think that applies to the entire genre. Like, I have no real affection for the Mario Party series either, except as like just random, you have 3 other people and you're all screaming and cursing at each other. But I don't actually think this genre of video game is very good, period. I think it relies a lot on that couch co-op flavor. And even then, I don't know if that's worth, like, I don't know. I just wanted to put it out there that, like, yes, we're kind of dogging on this game, but I also don't like other games like this either.
I'm not much of a Mario Party guy either, so I feel you.
I'm a pretty decent Mario Party guy, under the right circumstances. I've probably 100%ed those first 3 games multiple times at this point. I've played a decent amount of like the GameCube era ones. I dip into the others every once in a while. Like, I think it's telling that the best experience we had with this game was the one time where we got to play together. But
absolutely,
that's for a multitude of reasons that I'm sure we'll get into.
I can't believe we've got an actual party boy on the podcast. Whoa, check it out.
There is documentation of me crashing out during a particularly bad game of Mario Party 2 online, if you know where to look.
I think my favorite Mario Party was it was either 4 or 5 on the GameCube, and you somehow, I can't even remember how you do it, but you unlock like a incredibly, like, shouldn't be this in-depth volleyball mini game.
That was 5.
Okay, that was 5. And I remember thinking, like, well, this is the best part of the game. And I think I rented it, and once I unlocked that, I just played that until I had to take it back. Like, I didn't go back to the actual, main part of the game. So
5 is probably my favorite GameCube era game.
Okay. So
Mario Party Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Yeah, basically, that is how it played. And I mean, special shout outs to the long running Giant Bomb series, where they just play Mario Party games. And
yes, the Mario Party series is
everyone
something.
But Dan Reichert is miserable the entire time.
Nobody wins.
Maybe someday. Hey, maybe me and Luke need to conspire next time they do a fundraiser to make playing Sonic Shuffle a stretch goal.
By hook or by crook, I will make the Sonic Shuffle happen.
Yes, let's do it.
I've enjoyed the Mario Party games throughout the years. Like, I don't necessarily go out to seek them and actively play them a bunch, but when I've had a few people around, like, it's definitely fun to play for maybe a whole round and then go do something else. And then with Sonic Shuffle, I think it was definitely more fun to play with the 4 of us than by myself with the 3 other computers, even though both times my S cards kept getting stolen, you big freaking jerks. Just leave my S cards alone.
We'll get into that.
Oh, they mean the part where they just magically know where your best cards are? Yeah, it's strange. They're all psychic.
It's like they hit F5 to show the VMU. But it was legitimately, I think the best experience I had from this whole thing was just the fact that I was able to get this running so that all 5 of us, 5? Wow. Let me try that again. 4 of us.
Who was the 5th guy?
We left room for the Holy Spirit.
The overwhelming sense of dread hanging over the experience.
Yes. it was fun to like finally get it all set up so that we could all play together in a very, I would say, a very good, almost low latency way.
It worked for the most part. This was the type of game that probably works the best with that setup we had. Thank you for putting that together.
Yeah. Shout out to the one test game we played before, the one with all four of us, where Jeremy and I were helping Jake test and he had to step away. So we took control of his computer and used the cheat codes to give him 0 rings and us 999.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was fun. I get up, I go pee, and I come back, say, "Where's you guys?"
I'm ruined.
Yeah, so Sonic Shuffle released November 13th, 2000 in North America, December 21st, 2000 in Japan, and March 9th, 2001 in Europe. So literally right before the thing died.
Hey, at least we got Sonic Adventure 2.
I mean, Sonic need a redemption on that system after this.
Yes. This game is interesting. I don't know if there's probably not any numbers anywhere on what kind of budget this game has. Seems pretty shoestring.
Yeah.
And I honestly think it's very charming about how much is reused from Sonic Adventure. All the character models that aren't new characters. Just got
a bunch of sound clips.
Yeah, sound clips. I think it's cute that they, it's the same models, but they put like this neat cell shaded shader on there. And so they look a little different. I don't like how a lot of the characters' mouths look like sideways vaginas when they talk.
Yep.
The facial animation is somehow worse than Sonic Adventure, and I didn't know that was possible.
I don't remember that in Sonic Adventure, so...
I think Sonic's mouth animation is the worst, because you just see all of the teeth at all times.
Get out of here, man.
Just imagine somebody like doing a big open mouth, like open teeth smile, just constantly saying like, "I like to have dreams. Hello, I'm Sonic."
But the game I don't think the game looks bad. I think it's right in that nice pocket of charming low poly Dreamcast games. Like I've been realizing, I don't know, looking back on a lot of like quote unquote retro 3D games from around this time, and I really like how every system handles their low poly textures and stuff different. Like I think the Dreamcast has pretty nice like looking movements, and especially for like how it handles textures. And I also like it, like the PS1, you run into that again, this is stuff that is like put in like modern throwback games on purpose when originally it was hardware limitations. But on the PS1 where like textures shift around and get stretched.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just think it's kind of cool that I can recognize like, oh, that's an N64 game, or that's a Dreamcast game, just the way like it handles the graphics. And I think this game looks pretty good.
Yeah, I kind of dig the cell shaded look. If they had gone with that for Adventure or Adventure 2, I would have been totally fine with that.
I even like some of the crazy creature designs that get thrown onto the boards in this, because you do a lot of boss fights in this game, believe it or not, or battles, excuse me.
Like, honestly, we were talking about this during the thing, but a lot of the creature designs feel like very Knights inspired, just like the rest of the game.
Oh, yeah. I remember, again, just looking at random videos and comments and trivia bits and people pointing that out. And I wonder if this could have worked as just a Knights crossover. Like, there's only, 2.5 unique characters to this game, discounting like the monster designs. Like, could it have just been a Knights thing? Spoilers, if you set your Dreamcast to Christmas, or is it Christmas or Christmas
Eve?
Christmas Eve, Lumina's model does get replaced with Knights, which I thought was interesting. Also thought it was funny that I ran into some old internet lying where people said, oh, if you set it to April 1st, Void gets replaced by how do you say that character's name in Knights? I've never heard it. Riala. And that is not true, but it's still on the internet.
There are some particularly memorable monster designs in this game. Shout out to Fish on roller skates and the Yeti with a surfboard.
I was thinking about the Yeti with Little Hawaiian shirt and everything. That guy rules.
Oh, I love that friggin' fish. That's great.
I'm afraid of the man with the surfboard.
I think a few get reused, but every board does have some unique monsters. Like, I think it's the Riot Train just has a big lanky cowboy that shoots you.
Yeah, like a train robber, I think it's supposed to be, like with a...
Yeah, like it's a bandit.
As a child, I didn't really realize that the monsters are supposed to be weird because they're dream creatures. You know, everybody's had one of those dreams where it's just like some kind of effed up thing.
Yeah, the stoned horse.
I appreciate the design of this game. I think it does properly convey like the dreamscape that you're supposed to be in.
I'm just imagining what Persona would be like if you had to fight and recruit these things.
Hey, now there's some crossover opportunity. Let's see. Tell me about the developers of this game, because it's not as clear cut as you would think.
It's not. Like, my understanding is that, you know, slight misconception, this game actually was apparently developed Sega internal with assistance from Hudson Soft, who were obviously making Mario Party at that time. I think a lot of people misreport that as Hudson directly developing it, but it sounds like they were more, you know, assistants rather than the primary developer. And, you know, Sonic Team overseeing the whole thing, but it's not clear which team specifically did the game. Like, the most common guess I've heard is that it's Smilebit, the team behind Jet Set Radio, specifically because of the cell shading and stuff, but it's never been explicitly confirmed as far as I know.
That might explain some of the music, too, except it's not... Not the actual composer for Jet Set, but just the throw a bunch of samples at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, none of the usual like internal Sega composers worked on this as far as I could tell, nor like any traditional Hudson Soft composers, at least from what I could see looking it up.
There's no Sonic leitmotifs or anything that I recognize from the Sonic games either, so it's just its own bespoke thing in its own way.
I thought it was interesting that Jun Senoway is in the credits, but only the US version's credits because he's under the title Voice Acting Supervisor for Sonic Team USA, which I don't know what that means other than he was in the room at the time when they was recorded, so...
In the room where it happened.
I was just thinking that.
So we have alluded to it, but this game has a full-blown story mode. I almost feel like we're going back to our Sonic Riders discussion where a game like this does not need a story mode, but it has one. And I think the concept of that is pretty cool. I just wish a few things were done maybe a little differently.
It's funny to think about it, really. I think it's because they were in this like time period where like now Sonic needs to have these things because we're on the Dreamcast now. We're having voice dialogue, we've got voice actors for Sonic. Well, we've got to have a story for this party game where you shuffle cards. Okay.
Well, of course they do. Are you crazy?
Yeah, no, of course.
I don't even think the concept of it is that crazy. You play through all the boards in the game. As you pick one of the 4 story characters, it's Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy Rose. And I think let's start before I get into the actual gameplay. The story of it all. As explained kind of in the opening movie, which is, again, very cool. I love how it looks. I think this also might be the one piece of music that sticks in my head.
Yeah.
Very noticeably, that opening movie reusing the Station Square model from the opening cinematic of Sonic Adventure. Like,
yeah.
Very obvious.
And I think those same Sonic character models, just with a little bit of cell shading.
I think you're right.
So yeah, it looks very cool. But the story goes that Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy have all been given messages in their dreams by a mysterious person, and then they meet up and jump through a dream portal into Maginaryworld. And there's this little, pretty cool, again, very Knights-looking fairy person named Lumina who says, this is Maginaryworld. There's a big crystal called the Precious Stone, which like projects and basically allows the dream world to
A jewel
exist.
created from the hopes and dreams of people living in different dimensions.
Okay. And it's been shattered, and we got to get the pieces. And when it was shattered, this guy named Void showed up, and he's just breaking all the precious stones. He broke the big one, and then that split into 5 little ones. Is it 5? I think it's 5. Yeah. And then every time he touches one of those, that breaks into even more shards, and then that's what you collect on the board. And Lumina's like, Void's the bad guy. He's bad. He'll never do anything good. We gotta kill him and banish him back to hell. And Sonic and friends are like, okay, that sounds good. And Knuckles says,
Well, I've got nothing better to do.
yeah.
Literally, like, the opening of this is they all, like, appear from a portal. Sonic and Amy land on their asses.
Which is very funny.
And then Sonic sees this fairy woman and is like, I would do a wolf whistle if I could do one.
I can't do it either.
Good thing, yeah, we're not objectifying women here. That's what that has been like trained out of us. We will not work on a construction site anytime soon. Good for us. No, and then he's like, yeah, I believe anything you say because nice wings or something.
Which is, let me jump in here with some voice acting trivia. This is actually one of the few, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 let you switch between English and Japanese voice acting, and this one did not. And I wonder if that's because it came out in America first. But that only contains, like, the US version only has English, and the Japanese version only has Japanese voice tracks. And, of course, as we're usually want to do these days, I compared the two. Thank you once again to Wendy, who has an entire English translation of the Japanese version of this on YouTube. It looks really good too. Thank God she took because that's another thing. You can play as each character in the story mode, and they all have unique lines and story beats in between boards, and
which is cool.
Yes, it is very cool. Thankfully, what Wendy did is instead of replaying each cutscene 4 times, she just intercuts with the unique dialogue with the characters, and so you're not sitting there for hours watching the same Lumina and Void dialogue. But all that to say that Sonic wolf whistles in both Japanese and English, so I think that's very silly. I have no idea why he does it. One of those, like, hey, maybe they either didn't know the connotations of that in Japanese, or they were just working out Sonic's character and like, yeah, he'd whistle at this pink fairy woman.
No comment from Amy, huh?
Yeah, no comment from Amy.
Throughout the whole game, actually, Amy's not that interested in Sonic, except for one line, and we'll talk about that later. I'm used to Japanese Sonic, like, whistling in, like, being impressed by something, but no, is it literally like the woo woo, you know, I can't even do it now, but yeah, okay. So this is what does it for Sonic, huh? A little fairy woman. Okay, well, it takes all kinds in this world.
The English cast is just about everybody from Sonic Adventure, with a few exceptions. So you got Ryan Drummond. It's Corey Bringus, who is the older Bringus sibling, who would get
sounding
replaced.
Significantly older. Makes a lot of sense. He got switched out for Sonic Adventure 2.
His little brother, yeah. Jennifer Dullard is Amy. You've got Dean Bristow in here as Eggman, whose goal in the game is just to ruin your day. He's not actually in the story at all.
They never explain why he's there, so I'm assuming he's either just being an asshole, or it's just their, like, I don't know, dream version of Eggman, where, oh yeah, all I remember of Eggman is he's a dick.
Here, let me read Eggman's section from the manual, the character section, word for word. Eggman's role in this game is to ruin your day. Learn to expect him to show up whenever things are going well for you. That's it.
He is the Bowser equivalent and acts as such.
And it's funny because he's not actually trying to do anything other than that. He's not trying to take over the Maginaryworld. So yeah, he's just here to be Eggman.
Ain't I a stinker?
He shows up in most of the mini games and also the little mini events, which we got to talk about how cool those illustrations are.
Those are probably one of the best produced things in the whole game, are those illustrations. They're really rich.
There's dozens and dozens of unique artwork, and Eggman's wearing all these goofy costumes, and it's very, very cool.
I'm guessing that's where he got his outfit from the Ryder storyline in IDW, because I recognized it immediately.
Yeah.
That park bench scene where he's got the big trench coat and the hat. I'm like, oh, very stylish. Kind of a jerk in that too, but, whatever.
And then you have Alara Disler, who was Tikal in Sonic Adventure, who I used to always confuse her voice for Lonnie Manella, who Lonnie does play Void. And then they reuse clips from Sonic Adventure for the extra characters, which, spoilers, the game doesn't really keep them a secret. You can unlock Gamma, Big, a Chow, and Supersonic. And this would be the last time, even though it's reused clips, but this would be the last time we'd hear Steve Brody as Gamma, because he would pass away, unfortunately. And then John St. John as Big, who was the style at the time.
You may notice that we did not bring up Knuckles.
Oh, yeah. Michael McGraham played Knuckles in Sonic Adventure, and then he was replaced by, who is it?
Scott Dreyer?
Yeah, Scott
Scott
Dreyer
Dreyer
in Sonic Adventure 2. But in this game, in the cutscenes, Knuckles is played by Ryan Drummond, who sounds pretty good, actually. If you've ever heard Ryan talk outside of Sonic the Hedgehog, his Knuckles sounds much more like his regular speaking voice. Now, for some reason, instead of just letting Ryan do everything for consistency, they reuse clips of Michael from Sonic Adventure for the minigames.
He got Sonic Riders.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't dead at the time. I don't think Michael McGraham's dead. But, they reuse his clips on there. So you hear a lot of that stage complete from Sonic Adventure, is that all you got?
Yeah.
Which is just kind of funny. You'll remember the other trivia that in Sonic Adventure 2, Ryan also filled in for a few Shadow lines at the end of the Final Hazard fight as Shadow. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting. In Japanese, it's all of the regular voices. I believe Atsuki Murata is the child actor that plays Tails. He would also play Tails in Sonic Adventure 2, and they basically already replaced the kid from Sonic Adventure because these little kids just keep aging. They can't keep sounding like tiny fox children.
I'm so glad that we finally convinced Yuji Naka to stop that by the time Heroes rolled around, at least in Japanese. And then
I'm impressed anyone managed to convince Yuji Naka to stop doing anything other than the lore itself.
And that's another thing, is I want to make it clear, I don't think any of the child actors that have played Tails are any good. I think he's just as stiff and boring and sounds like he's being fed lines through an earpiece in Japanese as well. So let's see. Oh, another interesting bit is that Amy Rose in this game in Japanese is played by Emi Motoi, who was filling in for Taiko Kawada, who is Amy's longtime Japanese actress, very iconic at this point, because Kawata was on maternity leave. So she filled in. And I thought another cute bit of trivia is that Motoi played Arl in Puyo Puyo around this same time. And I think, didn't we discover, looking at this, that Sega owned Puyo at this time? I mean,
yes,
yep.
they had purchased it by that point.
And she does a very good job. I really like Amy's Japanese voice. I've listened to it for, God, however long. And you can tell the difference, but I just thought it was interesting. She does a pretty good job.
There's one more voice acting note that I feel like we forgot to point out in the English side of things. Dean Bristow does mostly play Eggman, except for I'm pretty sure one line that you'll hear over and over during some mini games.
Oh yeah,
literally that's what he says. Oh yeah,
oh yeah.
I'm not convinced that's not a stock voice sample, because it sticks out so much because Eggman has unique dialogue in this game, so they had Dean Bristow in recording something, and
he was good, by the way. Sorry, every time you draw an Eggman card, and he's just like, ooh, what evil invention will I use on you this time?
This is what I'm going to do to you.
He's got some great laughs too.
I want to say that from when we played together, I played as Big, and there was a couple celebratory sounds Big made that sounded different from anything he ever did in Sonic Adventure. So part of me wants to believe John St. John actually maybe recorded a few extra little bits, but I mean, maybe they were just on the cutting room floor before and then they used it for this.
I was about to say I have a couple rips of the all the Sonic Adventure voice files, and I know the one you're talking about. It's the big who's like, ooh, like ooh, don't touch me there. Sorry, and I think that is literally like an unused line from Sonic Adventure. God, sorry. I thought the same thing in the mini games where they use a very specific clip of Amy. I think in Sonic Adventure it's when she's about to trip, but it's the one, I'll put it in here, but it's the one where she goes, and I'm like, why would you use that clip? That specific one.
You know why. No, maybe.
Last bit of voice actor trivia, and then I'll shut up, is that Steve Brody's lines for Gamma are used in both, I believe, in the English and Japanese versions. I think. I haven't double checked, but I saw a few reputable pages talk about that.
It's almost as if we are looking for interesting things to talk about that isn't the gameplay because we don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, last thing I'll say is remember when the Metarex saga of Sonic X was coming out and people pointed out that Cosmo looks kind of like a fusion between Lumina and Void? I mean, aside from Illumina. Oops. Spoilers.
Yeah, I was going to say.
How can you spoil that this early on? Who would do something like that?
Oh boy. Might as well.
Let's just address it, get it out of the way. Like the big quote unquote twist is that, oh hey, Lumina and Void are both halves of, Illumina, the Dream Guardian or whatever. What? And it's like they really draw it out, like constantly doing the wait. Does that mean that and just basically coming to the same revelation for like 3 different times over the course of the story, like it's a fucking Sonic Prime episode. But they spoil that shit in the intro. Like very blatantly, they show Illumina splitting into Lumina and Void. It's like,
okay, and then the big precious stone explodes.
Maybe they thought people would take that, like, metaphorically. Like, oh, I see. No, there's no way you can do that metaphorically. It's literally just that.
It basically boils down to that Lumina and Void are both 2 parts of the same person, Illumina, the goddess of Maginaryworld, and the precious stone. And Lumina is convinced that Void is only here to destroy dreams, when in reality Void is the basic... I'm surprised they don't just straight up use the word nightmare. It's like you can't have light without the dark. Like, darkness is the absence of light, etc., etc.
Kingdom Hearts?
Okay, Xehanort.
Yeah. You can't have good dreams without bad dreams as well. And they even... It's pretty interesting how the Sonic characters do say, like, well, it's bad dreams and difficult circumstances that lead us to create our good dreams that we don't, that make us keep going. And yes, Illumina literally says when she combines back together and reforms the precious stone, like, yeah, I caused this whole thing by doubting myself. Sorry. Thanks for setting me on the right track.
Sorry, I know I'm like a guardian of like dreams and stuff, but I was really going through it. It happens to literally everyone. And
you have created the persona Illumina.
That opening movie does kind of show, she's playing her goddess harp and the string snaps and then she splits into 2. So I don't know. The concept is fine. It's the fact that they drag it out over the course of a 9 to 12 hour story mode that is just, oh boy.
After already revealing it in the first minute.
Yes.
Also, not 9 to 12 hours worth of cutscenes, I should point out. It's under an hour. It's just that's how long it'll take you to play it.
No. The cutscenes are basically barely an episode of Saturday morning cartoons.
And I remember Luke said it, I think, spot on in chat one day, saying that the dialogue is very circular, just constantly saying basically the word dream over and over and over again. Like,
yes, and talking about the precious stone and Void acting confused, and it's, basically says like you said, repeats the same thing over and over and over again.
But yeah, every time Void shows up, looking like Cosmo's goth phase, and the music goes dum dum. over and over. I like that little bit of music, actually. It's pretty unnerving. And spends the whole game, like, just... It's funny, because you mentioned at the beginning, like, Lumina was, like, I have to say Lumina and Illumina separately, because that throws me off. Yeah, Lumina's, like, basically saying, yeah, the Void is bad, but Void was born, and everything got bad. And Void's just... And this creepy-looking black-irised character is just being like, well, what did I do? I was just giving my thing.
I'm just a little birthday boy. Why are you picking on me?
No. And Sonic the Hedgehog is like, no, you're lying. I believe this fairy woman that I wolf whistled because she's attractive, apparently. I don't know. But poor little. You start to feel bad for the villain character, even if they keep breaking the precious stone at the beginning of every round and. And it is funny because there is something sinister about this character, because Lord knows you can actually occasionally, like, not to give away some of the gameplay, but you can, like, have a Faustian deal with them by giving them rings to steal someone else's precious stone. And they're like, ooh, oh, do you have any rings? Let's pick someone from a roulette. Oh, they haven't got a precious stone. You get teleported somewhere
I do love Lonnie Manella's little delivery. Void's like, ooh, I'm a little stinker. Would you like a precious stone for yourself? Okay, bye.
And then when you get to him in the cutscene, he's like, what did I do? I'm just doing my own thing. And it's like, oh, come on.
And before anybody asks in the comments, yes, the Japanese version makes slightly more sense just because there's some lines in the English that were poorly translated. But it really doesn't make that much more sense. And also, it's still just as boring as hell.
I'd say it's about 96.5% the exact same script, just, reframed. It's the same story. Not any glaring plot holes like in other Sonic translations. No.
Yeah, one mistranslation I fished out because I was curious about it, because this is one of those games where Amy doesn't spend pretty much any time going like, I want to be where Sonic is, and I want to marry Sonic, and etc., as she did during this time period, which was the style at the time. But in this one, when Illumina asks Amy what her dream is, she's in English, she's like, I want to be like Sonic, which is not what she says in Japanese. In Japanese, it's more like, I'm sure one day me and Sonic, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yes.
And then Illumina, in any version, Illumina's like, that's great, I don't care. Anyway, my dream, the good dream.
I only asked to be polite.
Which, weirdly, I feel like would work even in the context of modern Amy. Like, it's basically just, being asked, what's your deepest desire? And Amy being like, my deepest desire is for, me and Sonic, blah, blah, blah. That makes sense for modern Amy, where she's not wearing it on her sleeve, but is, still fully committed to that as a down the line thing.
It's interesting, though, isn't it? Seeing that now.
Yeah.
Like, after all these years. And this is like pretty much the second game since we've had like modern Amy, characterized in any way. And she's like, I guess she really was learning from her backstory, her story in Sonic Adventure. It was like, I'm going to be independent now. Until Sonic Adventure 2 happened immediately after, and she
but
just
only in my dreams.
Which even in it just makes me realize, like, and we've talked about this all the time. We did a whole episode on Amy Rose. Is my personal issue is not the fact that Amy likes Sonic. It's that it was boulderized and had all of the edges filed off and dumbed down, basically starting with Sonic Heroes, to where that was the only thing she ever talked about. And it became like the, leaning on the comedy, and in Sonic X and whatever, where in these the 3 Dreamcast games, it's like, oh, well, it's funny, but she is very much capable on her own and has other things outside of it, etc., etc. And even in this game, like she says, you ask her dream and she's just kind of vague with it, like, the Japanese script in Sonic Adventure kind of makes it more clear, is that she's not giving up on Sonic at the end, but she has basically said, but I'm not waiting around for him to rescue me. By the time he realizes that he doesn't need to rescue me anymore, like, it'll be too late and I'll get him and marry him and whatever. And so I kind of like that in this game. Just compared to how annoying it would get. Just speaking for myself before any torches and pitchforks come out.
And literally one of her first lines in this game is, "Forget about Sonic, look at my dress." Like,
Yeah.
Also, one more story note, I just want to get this out of the way, because I find, again, we're talking about like how weirdly prescient this ended up being for Amy. In general, this game it's about Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy in a new place, plus a brand new female character with a light and a dark side. A bit like Sonic Frontiers, you might say. Also, Eggman's there for some reason. So, I just thought that was funny that they settled on what is now, like, the established Team Sonic, I guess, is Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. Like, long before they, like, really, like, stuck to that. And I suppose this is partly because
they needed 4 players.
That's it. They only had so many playable characters in Sonic at that point because they were using the Sonic Adventure cast, and not all of them are here, technically speaking, if you get to the 2-player mode. But yeah, I just thought it's cool that, like, Amy is there as well, you know? Gotta have the girl.
It's not mentioned anywhere in the story mode proper, but it does say that Gamma has been revived thanks to the power of Maginaryworld and Dreams. So I like that there's little extracurricular stuff explaining that bit.
His robot consciousness lives on in dreams. Maybe in Birdie's dreams.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say maybe the Flicky that was inside him is dreaming about being Gamma or something.
Remember when I was
cool when I had a gun?
Yeah. One last thing I wanted to point out is I think it's pretty cool. Again, it's not really spelled out in the story mode, but if you pay attention to the opening, each of the first 4 boards that you play is associated with a character. It kind of flashes as the characters come up. And then when Lumina gives an explanation on what the boards represent, the kind of dreams, it kind of fits with that character. They talk about Emerald Coast is a tropical island paradise created from the dreams of those who enjoy the sun and seek peace, I think, is another thing she says. And that's Knuckles, which kind of makes sense. All he wants is just peace for his island and the Master Emerald.
Yeah, Knuckles just wants a resort island, like with hotels and stuff. And
no, maybe he'll pitch a 10 occasionally, but what is Firebird? It says this is a world that has lost its wings of freedom because the Firebird is imprisoned in like this very egg carrier looking one. But that's Tails, and I guess Tails. He mentions it in this that he wants to be stronger and not have to rely on Sonic. Basically reiterating.
Lumina mentions
adventure.
later this, the wings that recover its freedom, that freedom to go where one's heart desires. The spirit of dreams are to travel through the air, land, and sea, and even between the stars.
For all of those who dream because they want to fly high so they can reach the highest of all of the heavens.
This is an interesting one, is that Nature Zone is associated with Amy, and Lumina says, and she says basically the same thing in Japanese, I just checked, that the jungle was created from the dreams of those wishing to be one with nature. And I think the Japanese translation, Wendy
Boss Cage Maze Part 2, baby!
Yeah, basically. And I thought, okay, that's interesting. I mean, speaking of Sonic Frontiers, like here is Amy's appreciation for the world around her. And then Sonic has the fucking cool train because he loves adventure and dreams about it all the time. Only slightly paraphrasing there.
Oh no, so it's revealing Sonic's subconscious nature as a train nerd. I didn't want anyone to know about that.
Which I cannot believe, which we don't have to go through it, but I can't believe that the Archie pre-adaption that serves as like a prologue to the game story, it's one of those, it's like, and now if you want the rest of the story, play the game, Sonic Shuffle. Actually gets that right, is that Sonic dreams of a train tracing him. I'm like, I can't believe, let me look at the credits here.
Who was it who wrote that?
Who do you think?
Ken Penders got that correct.
Ken Penders understood something about the game he was adapting? No.
And my absolute favorite Archie Sonic artist, can't get enough, Mr. Ron Lamb. Oh, but it's not even worth talking about. It's Lumina shows up and says, "You're dreaming, go play the video game."
I think it's worth talking about for one thing is like when I rewatch the cutscene of the first cutscene where Lumina shows up, she's like pleading with them, like, please, you gotta help me, we're in a desperate situation here. But in the Archie version, she's like, oh, here we are in the dream world, you silly boy. Ooh, what's gonna happen over here? You're no longer in a dream though, are you? It's a real world. Woo! And Sonic's like, what the fuck, man?
Some Botan from Yu Yu Hakusho energy going on.
A little bit. But yes, let's stop talking about bad comics and start going back to talking about bad games.
Yeah. Because the whole thing with the story mode is you can only play it one player, which is immediately my first problem with it. This story mode would be much more fun if you could play up to 4 players, and especially if it would just switch between like the different cutscenes, like, oh, the person playing Sonic won the first board, but Tail, et cetera, et cetera. I think that would make it much more fun.
That's something I've always had a problem with in a lot of the Mario Party games. Like Mario Party 3 had the same problem where you had to play story mode solo.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any reason to do it that way. It wouldn't change the progress and process of the story mode if you let other humans be in there as well, and just let them jump in and out. Like it saves every turn. So, but just, if it doesn't detect the controllers, then just switch it to CPU players. Speaking of CPU players, this is going to sound like a bunch of cope if you don't know this game, but these CPUs on any difficulty level cheat. Like, there's no other word for it. They can see your cards, which is how you move in this game. Now, I appreciate...
This is not us, coping and being bad at video games. No. If you look on any of the wikis describing this game, every single one of them talk about how badly the computer cheats and ways to try and exploit them to get around it. Like,
oh, yeah, this is documented
bad
in the code. And I think the card system to move is kind of interesting. It's better than the Mario Party die, which is not actually random. All your rolls are predetermined.
I like the card system where, you do get 7 cards to choose from, and you can, pick, like, the thing is that you have your VMU, so you can see what cards you have, but you can't see anybody else's cards. So you can pick whatever cards you want. It adds an extra level of strategy, but it also has a luck element because at any point you can try and you can take from somebody else's card pile, but obviously you can't see what they are. So you are, rolling the dice, so to speak, trying to guess if you'll get a card that you actually want, that you need to get whatever you're trying to go for. So I think that is actually like a tremendous addition to, the way you play the game. And I think that it adds a lot of like strategic elements and risk reward to it.
You can also move in any direction, unlike a bunch of Mario parties, which you wouldn't think you could use strategically, but on the last board, the 4th dimension board, when I was playing in story mode, there is a point where the last precious stone was right in the center of the board. It's kind of hard to describe because 4th dimension, but it's basically a bunch of spaces surrounding like what looks like a black hole or a collapsing galaxy. And if you land too close to that black hole, your character will get sucked in and spit out on the other side of the board. And so I'm like I think I'm like 8 spaces away, which is one too many for a card to get. If you use your special card, one of the options is you can roll a roulette, which you can actually predict. Like, it's not random. You can go, you can time it, yeah, stop it on the 6 and it'll land on the, the S for 7. So I can't get there in one roll. So because I can move in any direction, I went backward, backward 4 spaces. And then because I was playing as Sonic's special move, he doesn't have a unique character space, but his special move is if you use the same number twice, you actually move double. So then on the next turn, I used another 4 and moved 8 spaces right to the precious stone. So there is actually a strategy to it. Yeah. Now, did I have to reset 3 or 4 times because the computer players kept taking the cards I needed or did some bull that ruined my plans? Yes, but That's part of the strategy, folks.
Yep. And I appreciate that they're like, whenever you are, picking which direction you want to go, there is always a little arrow pointing you in the direction of the precious stone. So that's really helpful for orienting yourself on some of these boards.
Yeah, it lets you know how many spaces you are away, and they count down.
Yeah, I keep trying to count it myself, and then I'm like, no, wait, the number's literally there. It's there. It's convenient. Like,
oh yeah, we didn't really explain the whole thing. So on any level, there's easy, normal, and hard to set the CPUs. And again, you have to play with CPUs if you don't have 4 human players in any mode. And they just straight up cheat. On easy mode, they can see all of your cards but your Eggman and your special cards. On normal, I think it's they can see all your cards, and on hard, it's just they dial up like the competency in the mini games. Even on easy, they are really hard to beat in the mini games if you don't know what you're doing. There are some where the computer does just like freak out and die. I think I can't remember the one, but the dark maze one where you have to step on the lights to see the path to the escape. Yeah. Every time I played that, usually 2 or 3 of the CPUs just would not make it through because they can't make the jumps over the pits, which is funny. Yep. But in other games, like, they will kick your ass. The one I couldn't believe was the it's one of the accident mini games, which I don't even know how those happen, but they're unique to the boards. And the one in Nature Zone is that you've probably seen screenshots of this, audience, is where all the characters are being eaten by crocodiles, and all you do is mash the A button to get out. And I don't mean to toot my own horn. I'm pretty good at mashing. I built it up as a skill in Mario Party, in Star Fox Adventures, in the Test of Strength.
I have been trained by Canary Mary in the art of mashing.
Yo, that too. And I could not beat it once. And all of these easy level computer characters could. And I was so mad because I don't know what else I was supposed to do, except that it just wasn't programmed very well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's something with that game in particular, because when the 4 of us played and we did that mini game, I mean, I'd like to think I'm a decent masher as well, and I was awful, and like at least a couple of y'all were just incredible, and I don't know.
And I was using a keyboard. Yeah. I couldn't use a controller because it would crash your programs that we were using. I was on a keyboard, and that was like the one mini game I won.
I'm choosing to believe I lost because of latency, and I refuse to acknowledge any other possibility.
I could totally understand. So all that to say that I save scummed doing this story mode, because I figured, well, the computer cheats. It's documented. It's in the code. Why can't I cheat a little bit? So,
incidentally, I did check. There was supposed to be online multiplayer, but it got cut to make it for the holiday. So,
oh, that sucks. That would have been again.
Tales all the time with Sonic.
Yep.
That would have been a perfect, even for the early Dreamcast modem, that would have been such a good game to have multiplayer for.
But man, imagine how long that game already takes. Imagine having to do that over dial-up connections.
Yeah, I wonder. I have not. I know there's been a revival now where you can trick your Dreamcast into using your Wi-Fi, etc., hardline fiber internet. But I really wonder how some of the early Dreamcast games played online. Was it miserable, or did it work pretty well? I remember
people generally have a pretty good experience with that from my memory. Obviously, Phantasy Star Online.
Yeah, well, I remember hearing people. What was it? Was it Quake Arena and Unreal Tournament were like really friggin' good online on the Dreamcast? Yeah, especially when you could just plug in a keyboard to the Dreamcast as well and use that.
I had the web browser CD for Dreamcast, and and my friend who lived in like Washington State did too. And I remember one time, like 1 or 2 times, we played the I forget what the game was exactly. It was like a snake.
Oh, Choo Choo Rocket?
No, it wasn't Choo Choo Rocket. It was a really basic like puzzle game. It was something like maybe like a matching game or something like that. But even then,
Sega Swirl.
Yeah, it may have been Sega Swirl. But I just remember even that like taking a while, because I think we were both probably using dial-up connections, and I would make a move and then wait a few minutes, and then he would make a move and then wait a few minutes, and then so that's why I say, like, imagine playing Sonic Shuffle as long as this game already is just one player, and then over a dial-up connection.
Maybe they had some way to buffer your inputs in there for the mini games.
Well, if you were playing online in this scenario, maybe you could disrupt your opponent with one of the almost 40 different force gems.
Jeez.
Oh my god. So these are basically the equivalent of items in Mario Party, and it's kind of a shame that they're just these generic rainbow gems, because I feel like, well, first of all, if they cut out more than half of these, because I played through the whole story mode, and I don't think I even saw more than 60% of these even get used, that it would have been a good opportunity for some like fun items, like just a JPEG when you use them of, a silly little thing. But yeah, some of these are crazy. Like, do we have here? I'm looking at the manual right now for some of them. Like they're
like for comparison, this came out like just after Mario Party 2, and that game had like 10 item types.
Here's a list of just the first 5. Speederold, use 2 cards for movement or battle. High Speederold, use 3 cards for movement or battle. Turbo Speederold 4, Max Speederold 5, and the Sonic Speederold, which is move 30 spaces in a random direction. Now, to me, I think you cut all of those except maybe the first 2, because 2 and 3 cards, that's at least you're moving a minimum of 10 spaces, and you are no more, unless it's a really large board with shortcuts, you are no more than like 30 spaces away from a precious stone. So that just seems insane. Also a bunch of weird spin the roulette and throw away all cards with the same value. Why?
Yeah. And then some of these like do almost the same thing as the other, where you could just cut some of them out. Like there's there's the warp crystal, which randomly teleports you to a different space. There's the teleport ruby, which the roulette decides where or who you will be teleported near to. There's the swap jewel, where the roulette will decide the player you will switch places with. And I will say the teleport ruby came in clutch in like the one player game I played, but like, out of those 3, you can just like cut it, just one of them.
I'd cut all of them, but like either leave the teleport ruby or the swap jewel.
Yeah, exactly. It's more competition.
But yeah, there are some that just are unneeded in a regular play. Like the Shuffire right below that is shuffle and redistribute everyone's force jewels. You only get force jewels either very rarely in mini games, as a gift from Eggman, if you land on there's 4 special spaces on his roulette of death, and from battles. And the computer likes to do battles where you land on the space and you have to roll a card higher than the monster's health to kill it. But there's not really a reason for you, the player, to do battles unless it's you accidentally land on the space, because all you should be doing is getting the precious stones. That's how you win. You get bonus quote-unquote stars like Mario Party for winning the most mini-games, winning the most rings, completing the board unique quest, which is also a pain in the ass, and I never did it. And I think a few others, but no, you get precious stones. That is what will let you win. Forget the battles.
No, you need force jewels out of your arse. No, I think what happened, this is what I like to imagine, is like when they were developing this, they had the whole team there like, okay, we need to come up with ideas for items. Does anybody have any? So just write them on this board. And they wrote 38 of them, and they were like, let's put them all in there. That's what I'm sure they came
We
up.
absolutely need the curse opal, where you can annoy another player, spin the roulette to see who your victim will be.
I know you're joking, but I really wonder, since most of these are just manipulating stats in the game, I really wonder if that was not part of it. It's like, what is an easy thing we can do to add content to this game that has a very shoestring budget and also a tight deadline? So I'm not calling any developers lazy. I'm just calling them as I sees them. I understand how that might have come about in that scenario.
Although you did bring up mini games during that whole bit, and I'm like, oh yeah, mini games like in Mario Party where you do them after every turn. It's a crucial part of the experience, right?
Nope, you idiot, you fool. Why would you assume that? You only play a mini game, again, seemingly at random if there's a accident, which is just a hilarious thing to pop up on the screen. Accident! Or if you specifically land on what is it called? A mini space? Because it's not always a mini game. Sometimes it's a mini event, which are the aforementioned like illustrations, which are random scenarios like, oh, Eggman is dressed up as a carnival barker and is asking you a question, or a winged unicorn is in a glen and you have to figure out where to pet it so it doesn't get mad at you. Or your character's wandering in the desert and here's the Stargate from Stargate and it crumbles and knocks you out. Now you have to rest for a turn, you idiot.
Yeah, some of them are choices, and you're like, okay, if I pick the right one here, I'll get what I want. And sometimes you just walk onto one of them, and it'll be like a giant statue's like, oh, traveler, witness my power, fuck you, get off, take your rings. And you don't get a choice in the matter. Yeah. It's just like steals your shit.
Eggman kicks you in the dick, rest for a turn.
Yeah. What's funny is I don't think I actually got any, like, when I was first playing it, I didn't get minigames for ages because we just didn't land on any of the play. And then sometimes you go for a round and everyone lands on a minigame space, so you're, like, exhausted by the end because some of them take a while.
I think I like maybe it's just because Mario Party technically did it first, but I like the pacing of, like, you know, you do a turn, everybody moves, and then you play a minigame, and I like the routine of that, whereas I do think it's novel.
I think it works better.
I think it's novel in this game that you can go a whole turn and not play a mini game. But then there's also the thing, you know, that Chris just mentioned of like, or you could play a turn where everybody lands on a mini game space, and it's just a lot.
Yeah, I'm curious if any of the mini games actually like stuck with you guys. The one I immediately think of is Sonic Cola, where Eggman shakes up a soda can, sticks it back in the vending machine, and you have to hope you don't pick the right one.
That is one of those that it's just random chance, but I occasionally think those work. And I even in story mode, I got a few where we just all picked a regular cola, and everybody won and got a bonus, and Eggman gets all mad. I guess there are some others like, oh, find the launch button for the rocket to kill Eggman. That's always seems random. And again, pretty sure the computer cheats and knows where it is. The ones I remember off the top of my head are the light maze one.
Oh, Great Escape.
Oh, that's it, Great Escape, where it's a top-down one where you have to find your way out of a dark maze, and there are some spaces you can stand on to illuminate, and you can see the path, and you can have to jump over bottomless pits. That one's pretty fun. I liked the Sonic Live, the guitar one. That's
Whoa, you liked Sonic Live? Right again.
I know.
Okay.
Sonic Live in concert coming this fall. No, not that one. I thought that one was pretty cute just because all the characters are playing the guitar, and all you do is press one of the face buttons when the spotlight is on you.
Yeah.
And if you press it when it's off, you get garbage thrown at you. And I'm not sure how you win. I think the only way for you to win is to not make one mistake, because the computer will always beat you otherwise. But it's another one where everybody can win and get a bonus. Go ahead, Jake.
Sorry, yeah. I enjoyed it when we played that, because at first we were trying to figure out the controls, and then when we finally did, where you hold the one button, we decided, no, we're just going to be silly, and we just kept mashing it and getting crap beaten out of us.
Yeah, because the people in the audience are pissed off that you missed your cue. Like, no, play properly when the spotlight's on you.
Play the same guitar solo over and over.
Do not care for improv.
I think a lot of the games actually work pretty well. Looking at the list of them, the ones, okay, I'm trying to see the ones that piss me off. Stop and Go, which is the one where you're on the slippery ice.
Oh, I did great at that one.
Yeah, I just feel like there was it was hard to get feedback on like how fast you were going and how to and Eggman also doesn't telegraph his movements a lot. Like there's an exclamation point where you think he's going to turn around, but sometimes he fakes you out. But no, a lot of these I kind of like. There's several different versions of like just running forward and jumping over obstacles, like over the bridge and over the rainbow are basically the same.
Or like being in a little round arena and trying to survive, basically.
Yeah, the Thor's hammer where Eggman's shooting you with lightning.
I got that one over and over again, and that always sticks out because it's one of the big "oh yeah" ones.
Yeah.
Sonic Tag made me motion sick. I'll say that.
Which one?
Sonic Tag, where you're running around the ruins. Constantly switching off who's it, and like the way that the thing is configured. Whenever you turn, it like turns really fast, and it's hard to like get a beat or like really use the camera effectively.
Yeah, it's got the screen split into 4, and it's just really hard to see and also tell when you're getting chased. That's there are 2 that I wish were more fun, that I think could be better, and that's Jump the Snake and Sonic Gunslinger. Jump the Snake is just the fire jump rope,
hot rope jump.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, for Mario Party. Except I feel like the I don't know, the hitbox, the timing is off. I literally could never get past one jump in that, and felt like such a
seriously,
dumbass.
like Jump the Snake. Every time I get it, I'm like, oh no, because I immediately get knocked off, and then I just have to watch the CPU play.
I do think it's cool that after a certain amount of time, the thing you're standing on starts to rotate, which does actually make things a bit more dynamic there. And like, if the hitbox was a little better on the Snake, I think that one would be a much more interesting game.
It might just be that the computer players are surprisingly confident. I liked a lot of the 2 versus 2 mini games. Sonic the Thief, Bucket of Rings, and Bomb Relay were actually pretty fun. I didn't like Shoddy Work, which is the weird, you basically have to build Tetris blocks into a shape, and again, the computer cheats, and you're like, no, mine was better, and it says no, it wasn't. Bucket of Rings is fun to where, depending on which player you are, you're either in the back with the bucket scooping up rings, or you're in the front dumping them into your minecart. And again, the computer, even set to easy, is a pretty competent partner. So as long as you get into a good swing, you can get more rings than the other computer players. Same with Bomb Relay, which I think has a cool timing where you're running forward, juggling a bomb back and forth, playing hot potato, trying to get to a lake to throw it in so it doesn't blow up. And you have to time it you toss it to your partner when their word bubble goes from yellow to flashing red, and you'll get a little speed boost. And
okay, that's what it was, because I could never get the timing right on that thing.
Same with Sonic the Thief, which I bet is more fun with 4 players, but you're either the player pressing A to lock in the number on a safe, or you're the player rotating the control stick to find the right number. And when the character finding the right number has an exclamation point is when you mash and lock in the number. And again, I had fun with it because the computer player like kept up with me. And so, yeah, a lot of these mini games are fun. I really like the 1 versus 3. I think Wrong Way to Climb is fun because it reminds me of like Nickelodeon Guts or American Gladiator. And mashing, all you do is mash a button and move to avoid the rocks falling from the player up top.
Yeah.
I thought the bungee jump was pretty clever, where the players on the ground are all holding force gems, and the ultimate goal is you want to be the character that is under the bungee jumping character, so you both get a bonus. I thought actually worked pretty good, and Gargantua was fun as well, where one character gets blown up and the other 3 have like little laser guns, and you either stomp on all the little players, or you bring the big players health all the way down. And that one felt like,
oh no, I've been turned giant.
Exactly.
Step on everyone.
Giant character.
I kind of liked Manic Maze, which was the one where the one character is tilting the maze with a ball in it when the others are in it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you would think that it's like, okay, you're trying to, tilt the ball to hit the other character. But no, what you're actually trying to do is, use the ball to basically block their, alternative entrances and basically tilt it so they end up falling in the little drain in the center. And I think that that's, an interesting spin on things.
Sonic cooking needs to be pointed out, by the way.
I didn't get to do that one.
That feels like so sadistic. You put all your friends in a frying pan and then toss them around.
I like Sonic cooking.
Oh no, I hope I don't be put in a frying pan. Like, it's so strange.
Yeah, I enjoyed Sonic cooking because I got to play that during a one-player game, and it's very simple. Like, it's like we said, one of those arena games where you just kind of try to stay in the arena. But I don't know. I think just because it was simple, like, you try to move around, stay in there, don't fall in the flames. You can tap A to kind of like wave your arms up and down to sort of float in the air so you can get back into the middle or wherever you want to go. But that was fun for me. I want a second Gargantua just because I thought it was fun and funny when we all played together. And I think Luke was the Gargantuan for that one. Yeah, that was silly and fun. I got to play Over the Rainbow during my one-player game, and I liked the skill involved with that of just like really like focusing on the button and then trying to not mess it up.
Like a similar one of Egg and the Chicken, which is basically literally a game of chicken where a bomb gets dropped into a basketball hoop, like circles around the rim until it falls in the center, and you basically just have to like wait as long as you can before you hit the escape button and get as close as you can without letting it hit you. And I think that's
this isn't a basketball, it's a bomb.
That one was interesting because the best thing to do is to press it right after the first computer player runs away, and you'll probably squeak in some extra points. Oh, I forgot to say, the one that I kicked ass at that seems to confuse the computer ones is Fun Sonic, where you're jumping on all the trampolines.
Yeah.
All you have to do is stick to a row and just make sure one doesn't drop on one and break it. And I'm just like, bounce, and they're going all over and get hit by stuff. I'm like, not me, idiots.
Eggman's giant face in the background.
I know.
He looks great.
We didn't mention, but when you're playing versus mode, you actually decide the play order by minigame rather than by, just a dice roll.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So in the game we played together, it was Sonic Slot, where it's basically another game of chicken where you try and get, the numbers will tick down and you try to get as close to zero as possible without going over. And whoever's closest will go first. But then there's also Sonic Darts, where whoever's closest to, the center on a moving dartboard goes first. And then Sonic High-Low, where whoever, picks the highest card from a bunch of face-down cards goes first. I think that's interesting. It adds an element of skill to determine who, starts things off.
Oh, what was the one that I think only in versus mode is it if you land on the same space you play the duel minigame?
Yeah, the duel minigame.
That one sucks. I hate it. I never want to play it again. I still don't understand how it worked.
Just a honorary mention for tractor beam tag, because I got rather good at that, and I got a whole game where the computer characters were stuck in the tractor beam and couldn't catch.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that one is interesting.
That was very funny, and all the time it's got that one song that has that weird that weird vocal sample I mentioned earlier, where it's a French woman. A French woman like seductively said, what was she said again? C'est pas vrai, which is like, that's not true. And then a guy just screams and goes,
yeah, the music in this game is a hodgepodge of weird, mashed up, like, samples, and
it's so weird.
I almost don't have anything to say about it because it's all quite forgettable. There are a couple of recognizable ditties, like the mini event one is usually the same, and I'm like, okay, well, I've heard this 10 times, so I remember it.
Yeah, I restarted so many times I remembered the title screen music. The whatever it is that woman whatever that woman's saying.
Yeah,
it might
shake
be
shake or chic chic, chick chick. Who knows?
The character select music sounds a lot like Bomberman to me. Just got that energy.
Oh yeah, that does have a nice ding doo doo doo. I also like the stage clear mini games.
Yeah, that's something that I wish
too.
that they would have done more in Mario Party, because like the closest thing I can think of is that some of the GameCube era ones will, like, you have to beat a final mini game on the final board before you can win, like the Bowser challenge or whatever.
They're not that hard, but they're a good opportunity to like squeak by and get a few more rings.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Sonic Surfing.
The Sonic Surfing was pretty. Yeah, I was gonna say that's fun, and it has that weird music track that's like at first it's like, and then someone's on an organ going, and they're losing their mind.
I know we used that in the previous 101 No More Music segment.
Even the one on the last board, you fight a boss battle against the transformed void, and it's not hard. I don't think it's possible to lose, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like here, this game does have a final boss.
Yeah.
And we all got to take him down together.
Yeah, you take him down by hitting light switches.
He really is a goth kid.
So yeah, the mini games are mostly okay.
Yeah.
There are a few stinkers that just don't really seem like they work or aren't fun to play, but for the most part, they're fine. I guess this would be the same around the same time, but they do feel like Mario Party 1 and 2 mini games. Like the concept is there, but would be refined if they got iterated on.
Yeah, they don't always do a good job of explaining the rules, unfortunately.
No, like they don't, there's no way to practice, and they do tell you like the controls, but like if you're dropped into one for the first time, there will be like, okay, well my character moves weird, or like the big thing on the the freeze tag one that I said I didn't like is that you're put at an angle. And it's hard to judge like how fast you're moving and, just little things like that.
Yeah. I'm surprised that there was no practice mode because that had already been implemented in Mario Party by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious if anybody had a favorite board out of the 5 that were available.
So I only played, actually technically 3 of them I got to play because...
Yeah, we played Fourth Dimension Space together.
I played and I did get through the first 2 boards before I got bored. So that's, I liked some of the style of them. I suppose I did like Fourth Dimension, even if there were no Mythos creatures, as Luke pointed out on the outline, because that was the one we played together. And also, when we played it, we only had to get 3 precious stones because the game didn't decide to make us do 7. Right. Sorry, did we point that out, that you need 7 of the precious stones?
And if you don't come in first, you have to do the board over.
Oof.
Yeah,
which I did twice with Emerald Coast, so that's fun.
Which doesn't even make sense. Like, there's no reason why losing the board should mean you don't make progress in the story.
You're supposed to be working together anyway.
Yeah. I think it should just say, oh, well, you didn't win, but you get to keep your rings that can go towards the Sonic room, Sonic album. Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense that just because you lose the board, you shouldn't get to move on. Like, just show that character's cutscene and it's very, it wouldn't be a big deal if the fact that you have to do the full 7 precious stones, and the average board takes about 2 hours to complete. There are some that are smaller. I'll say I think my favorite might be either Riot Train or Firebird, because I think those only took an hour because they're pretty linear. But yeah, it starts you with Emerald Coast, which might be the longest, which I think is a huge mistake.
Yeah. Man, the layout of Emerald Coast is it feels just slapped together hodgepodge of all these. I guess the reason it is the way it is, at least in some part, is because there's a lot of different areas where you can use character specific shortcuts.
Yeah. And
I guess that's to allow everybody to like, oh hey, like if you have this character, like here's a few spots where you can do that, and then like everybody.
Except Chow. Chow can't do anything.
Yeah, Chow has a lullaby or something.
There was one point where I was getting near the end of the Emerald Coast one in my 1-player game where I think I was 47 spaces. No, I was 72 spaces away from the precious stone.
Oh my god!
I was literally on the other side of the map, and I couldn't do like the trick where you like hit a bumper to go, fling yourself the other way because it was on the pedestal at the top middle. I'm like, okay, I'm just not getting it. I'll just run around and try not to drown. Which, okay, yeah, that's another fun mechanic in Emerald Coast. You can freaking drown.
Drowning mechanic in a board game.
That's another thing that I think is... I won't say it's bad. It just makes it means you have to play more strategically, but it kind of does really tick you off if you're not ready for it. Basically, an event space, like you mentioned, there are like bumpers from Sonic, springs that let you launch to different places of the board. Same thing with precious stones. You don't pass by it like a star in Mario Party. You have to land directly on it.
Yep.
Which again is about strategy and saving cards and knowing how many you'll have. But then that gets, a wrench thrown in it because, again, the computer can see your cards and just takes the exact one you need.
Yeah, they always know exactly which card to take to land right on it, whereas you can be screwed at a moment's notice because you're like, well,
And even pressing X to shuffle your cards when it's not your turn doesn't help. Of course, the computer is shuffling their cards all the time, so even if you know that Knuckles has a 5 and you need a 5, he might move it when you...
Get mad, Jeremy. Get mad.
It's a concept that would work better if the game was betterer. the strategy of knowing, like, okay, I'm 4 spaces away. Should I use the spring to go to the other side? I could land on that. But yeah, especially when everyone's only got like 2 cards left and you see the ones that are used, you're like, well, I know everybody's only got 2s and 1s, so I'll just pick one until we get dealt new cards, I guess.
And then a character specific thing, which is a blessing and a curse, is so all the characters have different like special ability things that they do. Like if you're Sonic and if you do say like 2 4s or 2 2s or whatever, 2 of the same value card, you get to do double that space the second time. But if you're me and you forget that he does that and you're like, okay, I only have to use 4 spaces to get to this.
Yep.
Oh no, I got to go 8 because I'm an idiot.
Yep. That happened to me many times. I'm like, well, I guess I'll reset and pick something else. There are specific spaces for Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, which basically all do the same thing, as they can take shortcuts on the board. And then they have different things happen when they play a special card in battle.
Supersonic Star, he gets to cheat anyway, so maybe that's why you should always be Supersonic outside of the story mode.
Yeah. Although I played Supersonic and it sure didn't help me.
I'm just that good.
Yep.
And if you play as Gamma, he's got a gun.
Yes.
I think the fourth dimension space is probably the one I enjoy the most, just because it felt maybe the most controlled compared to all the others.
Yeah, it's balanced in its layout, and
I like that it just basically loops around constantly.
Mm-hmm. Which, yeah, it actually does. It makes it a little hard to figure out, like, where stuff is, but it does kind of live up to its name to where it kind of does mesh with your head.
Yeah.
I think my second favorite is Riot Train, just because I like the idea of the board constantly expanding as you play.
Yeah. I also think it's funny how the CPUs seem to get stuck on the spinning spaces much more than your human character does. And so, they might end up with like 200 rings because they keep going backwards to a spot. But I mean, they will just stay stuck in one spot for like an hour and you can get all the precious stones.
Yeah.
I wish the unique spaces on each board were maybe not as arbitrary. What is it, like Emerald Coast? You rescue the baby dolphin.
Like the quests and whatnot. I think I think Firebird, you have to like fix an engine. Jungle Zone is or Nature Zone, you have to like find treasure chests. Riot Train,
isn't it? In Nature Zone, you have to find the chest that has a key to even unlock the space to get to the last precious stone. And once one person does it and gets the extra emblem for doing it, but you have to do it. I thought that was
I believe that's right.
Kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Then Riot Train is freeing a bird, and then fourth dimension space is bring a fallen star back to its whatever.
Sorry, that's funny to me because I mean, we all joked that it looked like Twink from Mario, and it was very funny because Jeremy, you got it first, and you're like, "Oh, okay, I guess I've got a little Starman," and then like I guess you ran out of time, so someone else got the star, and you're like, "Wait a minute, you cheating bastard! What,
I believe that was you that got
someone
it.
else now."
Yeah, it's weird because again, they're not very. they're telegraphed, but then some aren't. Like you said, the star falls to your character and then says, okay, well, you need to bring me back to this space, except there are multiple spaces, so I guess this star has to go to this specific
and it's
space.
It's even worse in fourth dimension space because it all just kind of blends together.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, but then they are, like, you have to go out of your way to do this, and the reward is only a single emblem, whereas I might be able to get 2 precious stones in the time it takes me to, rescue this stupid baby dolphin that's beached itself. So the only one I ever did was Riot Train, where it was just on the way. I rescued the little bird, but all the other ones, no. And the computer players don't do it either, so why would I waste my time?
Sorry, Jeremy being like, oh, I could help this small, abandoned creature, but I could be going out there making a profit on precious stones. Come on, you're not helping me.
If it's between playing this board again and not winning it, then I'm sorry, the baby dolphin's just gonna have to hang in there until I melt the frozen ice storm.
Sorry, Echo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, outside of that, there's not much else other than Sonic Room, Sonic Room, Sonic Room.
Sonic's Room.
Clean up all your mess in here.
Which is pretty cute. Also, unfortunately, this is how you unlock the extras and characters, and they don't tell you how to do that in the game.
No.
It does keep track of all of your it's Sonic sitting at a table with a photo album and a computer, and there's you can unlock the boombox to listen to music, the toy box to play mini games you've unlocked, and then the aquarium and the cactus garden keeps track of your mini games and mini events respectively, I think.
Yeah.
And then there's little stuff you can do, I think if you complete all the mini events with a character, like a little doll shows up on the shelf.
Yeah, that's if you beat versus mode with that character.
That's it. And the other characters in the game will show up outside in the backyard and will walk by the big window and go hey, all right, I'm Tails.
Yeah, true to Tails' classic appearance in the Sonic screensaver.
Let me in, Sonic! No, I'm reading the Bible.
Luke, I love what you wrote here in the outline for it of basically the extras menu starts as our male living space.
It does!
I thought that was a thing for a while. People were like, a man will show you this living space and it's just this, and it's Sonic on a single chair in an empty room.
But you have to unlock the toy box, the jukebox, and then the extra characters by, I think, buying pictures in the album with your rings.
Yeah.
I could not find a source that said exactly how to do it. I saw one that was buy 4 pictures in Tails to unlock Gamma. And I'm like, okay. And it didn't work. And then I didn't have enough rings. And I'm like, well, I'm not playing the story mode again. So, oh well, which it doesn't matter because the characters are unlocked to play the mini games anyway. You're only unlocking them to play versus mode, which I don't know. That seems incredibly arbitrary. They should just be unlocked for everything from the start then. You just can't use them in story mode.
Yeah. I want you guys to guess how, I looked at how long to beat to see how long it would take to unlock all of the gallery content. Do you want to guess how long people said it takes to do all of that?
I looked at this myself, so I can't answer, but holy sh**.
Me too.
Main story, 9 hours.
Which is still too long.
Main plus sides, 12 hours. And completionist, 95 hours.
No, absolutely not.
No, thank
absolutely
you.
not.
I know you made the most of what games you had back then, but come on.
Okay, after I finished my one story playthrough, I remembered I have, VMU tool on my Dreamcast is modded with a GD EMU, and I had a spare SD card that just has VMU tool, which just has a bunch of saves on it. So I said, okay, I know there's one for Sonic Shuffle. Let me put that on another VMU so I can play and look at any things that I couldn't unlock. Even on this full, completed, unlocked save file is still missing one mini event because they couldn't be arsed to do that, and I don't blame them. So,
well, I'm glad Luke managed to talk you out of like playing more of it because you were ready
I was thinking,
to.
like, maybe I should play the story mode with other characters so I can get more rings and unlock that. And I even said to myself, would it be fun? No, not particularly, but could I do it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could. And y'all were about 2 steps away from calling in a wellness check on me, so I appreciate it. You talked me down off that cliff.
Stop.
It's not worth it to fill up Sonic's room because that thing's not canon anyway. Sonic doesn't have a room or a house. Like, we know that. Hey, you know what? I will say, like, I forgot to mention this earlier when we were talking about the story. One of the best parts of this whole game for me, and I'm being 100% genuine when I say this, is the credits.
Oh, yeah.
Over. And I'm not just saying that because because I didn't have play it all the way through anyway. I think the credits are actually rather good. Like, after you get past the story stuff, it's like, yeah, whatever, fine. But it's really nice because you see the characters walking into the sunset and they got these lovely illustrations of the characters waking up from their dreams, like at the end of Super Mario Bros. 2 on the USA. And you get to see, Sonic's outside as he should be, sleeping in the wilderness. Like, sorry, Luke just putting the empty default room on a dark, stormy day. It really is.
Just a plastic
just
chair.
Needs his little TV. He should at least have a TV with a video game console.
Maybe it's on the 4th wall we can't see.
Yeah, I love that in the picture. He doesn't have a TV, but he has an empty aquarium.
Yeah.
Doesn't even have fish.
Hey, one of these days, I'll get single fish in there. But also I was saying about the credits, like, it's all rather nice, like these little images of the characters waking up. Tails wakes up from underneath the tornado that he's been tinkering with, because of course he fell asleep doing that. He's that hyper-fixated. and Amy wakes up at a cafe, because she's cool like that. And where else? Knuckles by the Master Emerald, his one true love. And it's all rather nice, and it all else culminates with them running along at the beach together and these illustrations. And then you see Lumina as like peeking around through by a palm tree. You're like, wait, are we out of the dream or is it real? It's like the end of Inception.
Chris Nolan, you hack! You ripped off Sonic Shuffle. I can't believe it.
Yeah. That's why the movie drags so long. It's to recreate the experience of Sonic Shuffle. No,
I actually just rewatched that movie, and it holds up pretty well. Chris Nolan is good at making big, stupid movies that are, hey, kind of like Sonic games that are genuine, and so they work really good, and Inception might be my favorite. There's also some weird sexism in Inception, too, just like Sonic Shuffle.
That's why Sonic Shuffle keeps panning the camera around underneath
Oh,
Amy's
Don't take
It's
pictures.
weird like that.
Yeah, as my intro to this episode pointed out.
But yeah, I like that part, and the music's good, so it's got a good music track, so I liked it when the game ended. Not that I actually played it to get to that point, but it was like, oh, phew, I'm done with the cutscenes now on this YouTube watch through, because that's how I experienced the rest of it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I couldn't tell from the credits who might have done all these illustrations. I think Yukawa is listed as the character designer, but I don't know if he drew these.
These are really good. Like, there's something about the style of this that's, I don't know, it's nostalgic to me. It reminds me of some of the best looking Sonic X stuff.
Yeah.
That shot of Sonic underneath, like, with the light streaming through the treetops.
The God rays.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah, it's really great.
I was going to say, I'm looking, it says that lead artist was Hisashi Kubo, but I'm also seeing, system artist, mini event artist, lead character artist.
Okay, might have just been a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Looks great, though. They are matching that very, like 1998 Sonic Adventure style quite well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I love Sonic carrying all of those shopping boxes.
Shopping with Amy, and he says, "See, I think that's the cute Son Amy dynamic I like." Is he's stuck carrying all of her packages on a shopping spree. It's very
She is
cute.
paying him no attention whatsoever. I love that for her. When it was over, I was like, yeah, that's alright. It means I don't have to play it. Which is mean, but I liked that was the one time when I actually kind of felt something in this game, other than throughout the game when Void showed up and he was like, I'm just a little boy. What? Oh, isn't that interesting, actually, that Lumina's other side is a boy?
Yeah.
Maybe there's an egg to crack there.
What evil invention should I use on you this time?
Oh, bring out that transfire force jewel.
Yeah, now, I mean, that's the kind of thing. Now I'm looking at the manual. Is there anything that uses any pronouns for Luna and Void? I almost thought it would. Again, like the Knights of it all, the fact that Lumina gets replaced by Knights, and Knights is a genderless being as well.
I'm pretty sure they refer to Void as male, but that's about it. I'm not sure.
Void also, there is another like translation quibble where Void near the very end says he's been searching for his brothers. And anyway, Wendy translates to Japanese is where he uses the neutral siblings, which I think makes more sense because he's looking for the pieces of the precious stone. And the using brothers makes me think like, I don't know, are there different voids? And that's another one, I think, which again, that might just be translation things. It's easier to use gender neutral language in Japanese compared to English, where we're still figuring out something that basic.
Sonic Retro says that Lumina is female anyway, so I tend to rely on their word a bit more. I just think it's interesting that we have this sort of...
So here's my deep analytical thought process on it. Lumina is an allegory to the high school female who looks very pretty and gets catcalled, but also is very exclusionary to people that doesn't look like her. And then Void is the stand-in for the male dynamic where we all wish we could express and openly talk about our feelings, but we can't. So instead, we just destroy things.
I don't think that's too far from what the game portrays them as. I like that, because that is, I mean, honestly, at the end, like the entire time, Lumina has been saying, Void is the villain. We have to, even Knuckles says something like, we have to banish you back to the dark pit where you belong, or something like that.
Son of darkness.
Yeah. And all the characters are just going along with it when the entire time Void is like crying out for help, trying to say like, why was I rejected? I'm still part of you and we're meant to be together. And then at the end, you realize it's two sides of the same coin. They recombine to become Illumina, the goddess, because it is two parts of her. And I don't think that's too far off. I like that. Which, like I said, the story mode is what it is, but on paper, it's an interesting concept. It's just maybe not worth drawing out into a 9 to 12 hour story mode.
Absolutely not. The whole thing is when they combine together again, they get their nose back. If that's any significance. Neither of them have a nose. How do they smell? Awful.
And unfortunately, I do think Lumina and Void look much... I guess the models in the pre-rendered cutscenes do them much more justice than the in-game models. Because that's another funny thing is you would think maybe the lip sync is really bad because it's synced to the Japanese. No, it's bad in both languages. Void is literally just has 2 frames doing a little, bouncing up and down anime mouth, and it doesn't match a single word he says. Poor guy.
Yeah.
I appreciate the support on my really stupid theory.
It's probably more thought than they actually put into it when they were writing this, let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't want to sound pretentious, but it does seem like a pretty basic, like, I guess it is kind of Kingdom Hearts-esque, where...
Like I said earlier, it's very Persona.
Yes, even then. And, like I said, the Nights into Dreams of it all as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Sonic Team has done better stories involving dreams and dream characters, and that was one of them, so...
Yeah. Oh man, the last thing. Okay, I still want to bring this up just because we're about at the end here. The Sonic Encyclopedia, which does predate the one game I'm fixing to mention, but does include this game and still considers it canon in between Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. How do we circle the square with this game and Sonic Dream Team, which I also assume is considered canon?
Right.
Well, my theory before we started...
It's all a dream.
My theory is before we even started the podcast, which I think we discussed should be flipped, was that... I'll just say the flip version. This game is the crackhead coked out dreams, and Dream Team. The Dream Team is just the regular go to sleep. Ooh, I EP dreams.
Yeah. I think refreshing myself with, to be honest, I still haven't finished Dream Team because I'm not going to pay for 3 or 4 months of it, until we do an episode on it. I'm not paying for Apple Arcade. I'll use a free month or whatever.
We should probably do that soon because who knows when that thing's going to get delisted.
Jesus. I didn't even think of that. Okay, I forget.
Does that work on my iPhone? I don't know.
Great question.
In
Next
Dream
question.
Team, Eggman uses a device called the Reverie, which seems to lead to its own special dream dimension where REM, the incredibly cool sheep goddess, is the guardian of that realm, and that's why Eggman kidnaps Cream the rabbit, because only a person of pure heart can use the Reverie to access the dream realm. Which, when I say it out loud, is pretty hardcore. Although he did kidnap Cream in Sonic X, so yeah, he'll kidnap a child. I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this world not be an amusement park. So I guess if you had to, we'd say that the Dream Team Dream World is like a sub-Dream World, a sub-con, if you will, and maybe REM serves the goddess Illumina in some way. Anyway, I'll let the lore team figure that one in when we get Sonic Shuffle 2 next year.
Yeah. If there's one thing I've taken from this whole experience, it's that everybody is forklift certified. But if there's another thing I take from this whole experience, is that I think there is something to this game. I think that a lot of the ideas work on paper, but I think that it's between the obvious budget and, trying to make sure it was out in time for the holiday, they had to make a lot of sacrifices that just watered down the whole thing. And I think that you could do something with this game if only, somebody would do like a brain dead AI patch or something.
Yeah.
So there's a few quick things that I want to mention, then one more discussion point I want to bring up. The quick things I want to mention is I think the music in the game is bad, just overall.
Yeah, it's not great.
And I compared it earlier to it has the same feeling as the Resident Evil basement theme.
From the DualShock version of Director's Cut, yeah.
Done by the guy who pretended to be blind or deaf. I don't remember.
Was it blind or deaf? It was something or two. It was bad.
Oh, God.
Another quick thing I wanted to mention. Okay, so I think I've kind of softened my stance on this at first, but for a little bit, I was saying like, oh my gosh, this game is like, with the right perception, this game is as bad as Sonic 06.
No, hang on. Yeah, you can't say that when this game is functional.
It does work. It's just the way it works could be a lot better. It's a bunch of whereas I think I've said before, and I'll say it again when sometime this year we record our Sonic 06, there are a lot of good concepts in Sonic 06 that are fundamentally in a game that doesn't work. So they are not executed properly. I think everything is in Sonic Shuffle for it to be a good game, but unfortunately it is not executed properly. Like I said, little tweaks like make sure the CPUs can't cheat throughout the whole game. Make sure to be able to play practice mode in the mini-games. Let 4 players play the story mode. Little stuff like that.
Yeah.
Tweak how many precious stones you have to collect
even in story mode. Maybe that should be changed. Maybe you should be able to pick easy, normal, or hard, and you get more rings or something like that. Pretty much the only thing Sonic 06 has over this is the music in Sonic 06 is generally very good, whereas like you said in this, I don't even know what to say about it. It's just weird.
But like I said, my stance is softened. I don't think it's as bad as Sonic 06, but it's definitely up there as far as bad Sonic games.
I wouldn't, in my opinion. I wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah, like it is a totally functional game, but like
it just functions.
There are
bad.
just so many little there are just so many little things that keep it from actually delivering the experience that's intended, particularly the AI. Like, I feel like if you fix the AI, that alone would like raise the score by a whole 1.5 or whatever.
And unfortunately, the best way to play this game is with 4 human players, and that is very hard to do in this day and age. So most people who go and try and, even to emulate this game, you're not going to be able to do that on your own. Like, we had to, literally had to string together some spaghetti to make it just so we could hear ourselves playing the game with Jake. And I'm glad that worked, because that was the most fun I had with this game. But yeah, it's just one of those games, like, there's not going to be online play. Even if you could get this working online, it's not built into the game like it unfortunately could have been at first release. So there's just almost no way to experience this game in the best possible way. You have to do that solo mode with the cheating bastard computer.
Yeah. And that like there's no way Sega would ever release this standalone. Like, I feel like
no.
The only way this could ever possibly come back is if they had some sort of a subscription service like a Nintendo Classics or something and added that as, one of the available games. I don't think there's any possible way that this would work otherwise. And, if they were to do that in this theoretical scenario, that would also potentially at least partially solve the problem, because it would be a lot easier to find, people to play a game with.
You know what? They didn't even bring this out when Xbox 360 was bringing out like all of those Dreamcast.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
true.
absolutely not.
And that would have been a great way to play it online as Xbox back in the day.
They could have, because they did a couple of, Shenmue 2 and the Crazy Taxi ports and Jet Set Radio or Grind. And that just, no, they moved on from Sonic Shuffle.
Yeah, they didn't do that. They didn't put it on GameCube where they were putting the other 2 Dreamcast games.
Yep.
Well, they wanted to give people good Sonic games to introduce them to Sonic on the Nintendo console. So
good games like Heroes and Shadow and Riders.
Yeah,
I have to imagine they also realized that there was too much extra work that needed to go into re-releasing this game, so they just didn't want to do that.
Yeah. The last talking point I wanted to bring up with everybody, we've kind of in a way talked about already, but basically as Sonic is now with his current level of popularity and different crossovers and stuff, do you think that there's an appetite even in the slightest these days for a possible Sonic party game to kind of be made and possibly come out at some point? Do you think that would...
Hell yeah, that's why we got Sonic Rumble Party, baby.
Yeah, I was going to say my answer is all they would do is they would just do a collab, like a crossover with an existing app, not a console game. Or, it would be some mobile thing, which Sega just had their, at the time of this recording a few weeks ago, had their quarterly business meeting and basically said, most of the app stuff, games as a service stuff we've been trying is fell completely on its face. We're just going to make games for a while. So I think, I don't know. I don't know how popular... Because Mario Party is Mario Party. It's almost impossible to compare the genre because, it ain't 2007 and the Wii isn't the best-selling console of all time. So I don't know where a party game like that sits. I think there is a market for it. What is that tiny little console that actually outsold the Xbox Series 6 months ago that has a bunch of party games for families and kids, and it has a camera and everything. Stuff like that gets there is a market for that because people want games for their kids, easy pick up and play family stuff. I think there's a market for it, but I don't know the market Sega has carved out for themselves, where they have been pretty solid with their big, their big tent poles, your Personas, your Like a Dragons, your Sonics. I just don't know if it would sell, even if there is a market there. I would like to see it. I would like to see something that is Mario Party-esque but different, and I would like to see the concepts in this game refined to where they're not infuriating. So I'd like to see it, but I don't think there's much of a chance of it actually happening. I think you would see Sonic characters in a Mario Party before you see a sequel to Sonic Shuffle in some form.
I mean, that's true, but we could also go the opposite direction and make a game that is intentionally as frustrating and hatred-inducing as possible. I want to see Sonic Dokapon Kingdom.
Googling Dokapon Kingdom.
What was the what was the Mario Party crossover that was hold on.
Fortune Street?
Yes, Fortune Street. Jesus. I remember that one.
If it was solely against the computer, I would probably play, like, I don't know, Pac-Man Fever or Muppets Party Cruise before I would go back to Sonic Shuffle. And that's saying something.
Yeah. And like I said, there used to be a whole genre of party game likes.
Shrek had one.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was that was like, if it wasn't going to be a platformer on the DS or Game Boy Advance, you would get a party game. With licensed characters, but I don't think you have those anymore. They're all mobile apps. One of the most that Monopoly Go app that's been out for 5 or 6 years has made like $2 or $3 billion or some ungodly amount of money, and it's on your dang phone, for crying out loud.
Yeah,
I think McDonald's switched over from having like printing out like the actual little sticker things to just linking to the Monopoly Go game, didn't they?
Oh yeah, I did that. I did that not too long ago because you could also email for like 5 free game pieces, and I threw some of my morals away and used those 5 free game pieces to get like free food at McDonald's for that whole month.
I mean, if they're offering.
Yeah, exactly. I remember like they were going to expire, and I went into McDonald's and used the kiosk and ended up with like 5 apple pies and just asked everyone in line, like, "Hey man, you want a free apple pie? I ain't going to eat this." So
there you go. You're the apple pie Robin Hood.
I redistributed the wealth a little bit.
That's it for Sonic Shuffle, I guess. And that's it. The dream is over, and we've collected our last precious stone. Time to start from the beginning and do it all over again. Hope you've got several more hours free. No, just kidding. We're fine. We made it through, and while there was a void in our souls before, we're whole once again. And now we can finally Sonic Shuffle off this mortal coil and die. That's my dream. But seriously, the party's over. Goodbye, everyone. No, I hope you enjoyed.
In an illuminated fashion.
Yeah. So, that's it for Sonic Shuffle. I hope... Hey, did any of you guys out there play it? Did any of you listening audience, did you play Sonic Shuffle? Are you more interested in playing Sonic Shuffle now? I'd be concerned if you were. But maybe you did. You know what? There's always room for something. Like, everything in Sonic's franchise is worth experiencing once, except for the ones that aren't. I don't know where I was going with this. Anyway, that's it.
I genuinely want to, if you are like, because I saw people, looking at random comments, there are some diehard Sonic Shuffle fans, and I'm totally saying this in good faith. I just want you to explain it down there. If it just boils down to, it was one of your first Sonic games as a kid and you can't help but love it, I want to hear that, because I this is one where I'm like, I just can't. Where
you go, I cannot follow.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I just wish it was so much better. So
it could have been so much better.
Let us know in the comments.
Me taking the CD for this game and recreating the Andy from Toy Story meme of dropping it to the floor and saying, "I don't want to play with you anymore."
Yeah.
That was me in an hour into this game. Yeah, you can find us all across the internet, by the way. I should probably point that out. If you dream it, you can find it. No, that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that doesn't really matter. But you can find us at Sonic F Series and Sonic F, depending on where on the internet you look for us. But you can find me at Faulerro in most places. That's Faulerro.
Love that jingle. Better than any of the music in Sonic Shuffle. You can find me on the socials at RockTheJake, and you can find me on twitch.tv as Mr. RockTheJake.
You can find me in all sorts of places at CyberLink 420.
And you can find me on the internet on Blue Sky at jeremybaker.actor and everywhere else at GameBuddy, sometimes with a 123.
And special thanks, as always, to Amy Waters for the use of our theme song from the album Gotta Go Slow. That is good music.
Yes.
You can check out more of her work on YouTube and Bandcamp, and if it's a Bandcamp Friday, give her some of your rings.
Yes, and also at the time of recording, it was recently her birthday, so even though this comes out way later, still buy her music as a really late birthday present.
And remember, all that the subscribing, the reviewing, the sharing, if you're interested in this, click all the buttons. They're there for a reason, so whatever. And we do like it when people interact with our podcast, because we keep making it and playing games we don't want to play for the purpose of making it, so show your appreciation if you so. But mostly, I just want to hear what you have to say, because that's what I like when people say things. I don't like saying engagement, but I do like when people are engaged with our project. Like, legitimately, I like it when people join us for this, because we still enjoy making it, despite the pains we go through. Speaking of pains, we're going back to school next time, because on our next episode of The Hill is Always Greener, it is time for us to... Wait, we're moving on, and... Wait, hang on. It's time to move to a whole new year, a whole new subject, a whole new syllabus. Because yes, we're bringing back newbie education, but it's going to be 102. So... What are we doing next time? Luke, I think you've got some sinister machinations worked out for us.
I've got a few ideas, but basically, let's say this is going to be similar to our newbie education episodes, but for somebody who perhaps knows a little bit more than just intro level Sonic the Hedgehog. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna maybe help fill in those gaps for the advanced mind, and also quiz that person on just how much they've learned.
That's right. It's a Sonic Advanced course, if you will.
Ooh, indeed.
You'll find out who we've picked and who we're going to be grilling next time, like frying on the frying pan in Sonic Cooking. Next time on The Hill is Always Greener. But until then, I've been Faulerro.
I'm RockTheJake.
I'm CyberLink.
And I'm GameBuddy. Ha! You can always count on Vector to turn something fun into a waking nightmare!
Hey!
Wait, he wasn't in this game.
Should have been.
This has been The Hill is Always Greener, and we'll see you on the other side of the dream world.
Whoa!
So on and so forth.